Hey, what's up, everyone? Sly here with D and D, man. Big news today. We were hearing rumors out there talking about your boy Jauan Jennings might be on the trading block. And I know Niner fans they were talking about it today. I was listening to KBR, and I know people were like heated. The fans talking about what should the Niners do, and this is his last year of his contract. He kind of got a little bump, after holding out or injured, whatever you want to call it, during the training camp. And I know a lot of people have a lot of things about him after the fight with Kyle Shanahan and the trade deadline. Remember, the whole last year was week 8. They pushed it back. Now it's week 9. So Niners have a little bit of time. We're still not officially out of it. 4-2. We have the best records in the NFL. So lots to think about. But what do you think, man? Jauan Jennings, do you think this is a good idea for the Niners?
I think it's starting to look more realistic as the days go on. Again, like I've been a big old advocate of like Jauan Jennings just because, there are like talented players, but you see like Odell, for example, you saw like one-handed catch, talented wide receiver, but once he wasn't had that injuries and athleticism, he wasn't really like the same player. And that's why I'm like a big like advocate for like players like Ayuk, players like Jennings, because those guys, they're talented, but they're not like the talented, like as far as like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jefferson, Neighbors, like these guys, they just work hard and they know how to route run. And for me, like route running, like as far as like a receiver, is like so hard to find because I feel a lot of like teams, they try to look for just like that go-to like Odell type of player, but just like what's gonna win you the games are the guys who just do like the little dirty work. That was why back in the day, like I think the 49ers were really high on like a player like Crabtree because he wasn't the talented, but he was one of those players where yards after the catch, he could break tackles and get the first down. Those are the type of players like I really like. But I was expecting Jennings this season to really take a step forward because we remember last season with the whole drama with Ayuk. He didn't want to be with us. He wanted to be with Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. And then we end up losing Debo. And so with Jennings, I was like, man, that's Brock Purdy's like favorite weapon. I'm looking for him to become maybe our wide receiver 1, especially wide receiver 2. If Ayuk comes back, he's going to be Purdy's like number 1 target. But man, it's gone the complete south. This guy's been the prima donna in the game. He's arguing with our head coach. He's like not really engaged in the games. He just has like his hands on his waist, making dumb penalties. And like I try to stick up for him, but there's only so much I get to stick up for him. Where it's like, man, dude, you just don't want to be with us anymore. And with the news, I know there was like some of the fake articles that are coming out, but I was telling you though, like that. They're just planting the seed because I think a lot of it, even if it's fake or people just doing mock-ups.
You're talking about the Brandon Ayuk, how he was mad at the Niners, right?
Yeah,
with that one.
Yeah. And so like, but they're just trying to plant the seed because like a lot of these news outlets, man, they just want the stories out there and they just want to start chaos because it gets people like engaged, it gets people talking. And so I see a lot of like mock, like people like putting like Jennings in like a Giants jersey, like, oh, they lost Neighbors. Let's this will be a trade like for like Jennings, like, and they they throw the mock-up trades and all that, like first rounder, blah blah blah. But man, as people just start talking about it and news articles, it's starting to become more realistic because they're gonna be talking about this as the weeks come by. And if Jennings keeps acting like this, man, I definitely could see him on a different team because we don't need a cancer. We had what was the name? The Alexander guy that didn't want to go back in last season.
Oh, Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell. Like we already had that last season, and so we don't need like another that. And then with Debo, when he's like hitting our players, Ayuk, like he wanted like a contract, then he wanted to get traded. We've had like so much drama these last like 2 seasons that like this season, like we like again, we're like a 4-2 team. We're still like one of the best teams in NFL, surprisingly, with all the bad luck injury. But this is like something that we don't need. We don't need a cancer in the locker room. So it's either Jennings is looking realistic that he's going to be traded eventually if he keeps acting like this.
You actually brought up a good point about the whole thing yesterday where poor Brandon Ayuk was friendly fire, man. He was getting ripped. Niner fans were ripping the crap out. You sent me the article. You're like, oh man, this locker room is crazy, going crazy. And then it turned out it was fake. The SF Niners broke it. That he never he never really got back on social media, so he did unsubscribe to the Niners, but then he never actually went back and followed them.
Yeah, it's been like that for months.
Yeah, it's been like that forever. So I mean, that article was baloney, and it reminds me, man, of when your boy Jesse Smollett,
Juicy Smollett,
Juicy Smollett, the French actor, was out there. I remember that day, dude, when you sent me that article. We're like, oh my gosh, look what happened. I remember reading the article. It's like, dude, this looks like this guy's full of shit, man.
Yeah,
I was
one of those people. Justice for Juicy.
And I was like, hell no, this looks like a fake ass story. So you might be right there that this might be just another clickbait. So it might not be true. But if the Niners were going in on it and they were thinking about it, I think it depends on these next 3 weeks, because that's when the trade deadline is. And what if we go 0-3? And I think, hell yeah, they're going to try to trade him, because this is the last year of his contract. It looks like he's not happy right now. And I don't know why the Niners would want to keep him when Kendrick Bourne's doing pretty much the same exact thing, except blocking. Damn, that dude can't block to save his life. Yeah. But other than that, it's like, if we lose next 3 games or go 1-2, I mean, does it really matter keep bringing it back? It looks like when they signed Robinson for 2 years, I think their plan was, this was going to be the last year of Jennings anyways.
Yeah.
So to me, he's not part of the long-term future on this team.
That was,
So if we could get a 3rd or 4th round pick, shoot, I say do it. I remember when we got a 4th round pick for Kaepernick, people were pissed off. Remember, every content creator was like, "Oh no, a 4th round pick, we got screwed." Bro, we got Malik Mustafa out of that. I remember I was the only one heck yeah. I was like, oh, there we go. Fumble. Maybe we shouldn't trade him. I was the only one that was saying, we trade him. Heck yeah, 4th round pick for him. So I'm saying, dude, if it's available right there, 3rd, 4th round pick, maybe even a 5th round pick, at the end of the day, it depends how we're going to do these next 3 games. These next 3 games, Atlanta, who looks hella good right now.
Yeah, dude, had a huge win against the Bills. Who just
beat the Bills. And I don't even know who the other 2 games after that are. But we got to win. If we go 2-1, 3-0, then obviously no. Let's screw it. I know I sound delusional because Warner and both out. But as a fan and even as a team, you kind of want to go for it. But if we go 1-2, 0-3, then, dude, you got to entertain it. You got to entertain it, because Jennings, I don't think he's going to be with us after what happened last week and then what happened during training camp, because the dude was having such a great OTAs. He was on fire. Him and Purdy were together. Bro, he's going to have a big year. And then what happens? Oh, I'm hurt, and then I don't want to come back. Then all of a sudden, when he gets his contract, miraculously, he's back. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know about he's part of the future after what he pulled, And the Niners been burned so many times with Ayuk and Debo too. So I think they've learned their lesson about this situation.
Yeah, that was kind of realization for me this season when Bosa got hurt, because as sad as it was for me, I remember back in the day with when we had Willis and Bowman and all that, I was like, man, when I knew it was time for us to move on from that group, because that was a group where we were horrible, because we had Singletary and then we had Harbaugh and we had our little run, but then there was a point where I was like, dang, the team's broken up. We got rid of Alden, Kaepernick did his thing,
Patrick retired,
Bowman,
retired.
And so it was one of those realizations where it's like, damn, that team's not going to win a Super Bowl. And I wanted them really bad to win it, but it was just that realization that, that roster was dismantled. It was time to move on and think about the young core. And so right now I feel like we're on that verge this season, because we our 2 best players on defense are out. You saw we already got rid of Debo, and then we're Mac and Bourne. Even though Bourne's still a little bit older,
he's already
it's
30.
He's already in his 30, but still you see the other guys getting engaged, the Robinson and all the not the Brian Robinson, the other Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
And so you see all these other guys getting more engaged, and even wasn't it the tight end Tungus? He's getting more involved, and it's okay, I think they're gonna start looking to the future, start getting these young guys, and might as well, how you said, if we go under 500 these next couple of games, is
what's
more
point?
realistic.
Yeah.
What's the point?
What's
Start playing these young guys and start looking more to the future, and start to get some assets out of these guys, out of Jennings, And so that's the way I'm it's either Jennings gonna come back and he's gonna be our best player, or I think more realistic, he's gonna get traded and we're just gonna get some assets from it, because man, it's just it's not looking good in our locker room so far. And it's, I said, even though a lot of these articles and what people are saying, just throwing it out there, and it's probably not real news, it's just fake news. Still, you still plant the seed and it gets people talking, because then if we lose the next game, what are the reporters gonna say? Is everything okay in the locker room with Shanahan? Like, it's like how Jennings, what's the whole deal about? Like, probably asking him right now during practice, like, is everything good now since like post game?
Yeah.
You guys arguing? Like, I wouldn't even doubt it. They already asked him that this week, and so it's just like, man, if these incidents start happening, it could go south really bad.
Yeah, so to me, obviously, it's gonna come down to these next 3 games, see what happens there, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but if we lose, then yeah, dude, get draft picks and freaking draft offensive linemen. Hot damn, man, our offensive line's so horrible right now, and we've been talking about that forever. But that's for another day, man.
Yeah,
that's what we got. Let's know what you think, man. Jennings, keep him, trade him. Last year of his contract, man. So I don't know, man. You decide. All right, man. I'm out. D's out. Peace.